Hello, today is the What Are Your Goals Day. Knowing what you want is the first step to getting it. So we are going to talk about figuring out exactly what you want out of being a leader in your community and what kind of leader you want to be. Because before we go any further, really, into the different types of leaders and what they do, we need to talk about why you want to do it. That's what a goal is something to achieve. So this great little quote, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So we're going to start with the goal, and then we will jump into working on the plan. You will absolutely, positively be a more successful leader and a more successful person if you consciously choose how you want to be involved as a leader and as a person. You have a choice over how you interact with people, over what you commit to. You are in control of yourself, and so you need to really think about yourself first, and then how your goals branch out from yourself and are a result of yourself. So, because it's really tempting to do a lot of things, or to want to do a lot of things, to volunteer at lots of events, to try to become an educator immediately, to do all the things. And that is really tempting, and quite frankly, I'm a horrible example of not doing it. It's a case of doing what I would do what I recommend, not what I do, because keeping your focus will help you become more successful. It is better to do one thing tremendously than a lot of little things, only, not very well. So start with focus and build from there. Because what you're really doing is you're overcommitting, and enthusiasm is fantastic and is necessary, but it can burn out, and that is usually when there's just too much to do and it stops being fun. So set yourself up for success and start thinking about it from the beginning. I know that I didn't do that, and I regret it. I wish that I had been more specific in what I was doing. When I was a pro dom, I was very specific in what my goal was, but becoming more involved in other ways in the kink community as an educator and as an event leader and that sort of thing, I kind of got scrambled all over the place. And so it's something that then I've had to learn how to keep up with. And learn how to juggle and learn how to trim. But I do recommend starting from the get-go more thoughtfully. And that will lead to longer-term success, should you choose to take on that challenge. Okay, so the do's and don'ts. And I want to apologize here about my videos. I am going to get an actual slideshow going here very shortly. So do be aware when you are not at your best, and don't avoid apologizing for it, because it's okay. So don't be vague about how you want to help the community. What does that mean, really? Help the community? Does that mean giving money? Does that mean donating all your time? Does that mean, what does that mean? And so don't just, kind of start with this idea, though I was talking about a moment ago, about being thoughtful. The way that you're thoughtful is by not saying, I just want to help the community, but think of and consider very specific ways that you can do that. So don't be vague. Do pick your opportunities based on your skills and your actual availability. This is going to be something that I talk about a lot, mostly from living experience and continued struggle and awareness of, is that you have to know what your availability really is. What is the time that you are able to commit what is the financial cost, whether that's you spending actual money to get to events, etc., or time that you could be doing paying work and instead are doing non-paying work, although we'll get to the pay structure in alt communities shortly. So do pick your opportunities based on what you're good at, first of all, and but ultimately what you're actually able to do, both skill-wise and time-wise, okay? You'll save yourself a lot of trouble. Don't wait for others to ask you to contribute. Step up. You gotta go for it. If there's something you want to do, maybe you don't get to be immediate, big head honcho wearing the big hat kind of leader, but start. You gotta start somewhere. So start by volunteering your time or showing up at meetings or introducing yourself to the educator coordinator. Do something to take action, and don't wait for others to tell you to or ask you to. And do see if others are already active in your desired leadership role. Let's say you do want to put together big events. Do you have other big events in your city or town? Are there people who are already doing it who there might either be political drama with, which we will also discuss in a future lesson? Is there really a need for you to do what you want to do, which, is something that's really important to consider, quite frankly. So see if other people are already doing it, and it doesn't mean that you can't. It just means that you need to think about it, because they can become friends or foes, quite frankly. So that we will get into more of that with the how to interact with people. So the generalized options of what kind of leader you could be: the large event producers, the small event producers, the educational organizers, which sometimes are for larger organizations or for those events, munch coordinators, educators, board members, etc., etc., etc. And so what you need to do is to think about what you want to do and what you would be good at. Because those are the two questions, is what do you want to do and are you good at it, and what is not on there is do you have time for it. What are the open opportunities in your community right now? Does your local group need an educator organizer? And even though you want to be an educator, is that a good role for you? Yes, it is, because it means that you get to talk to educators and meet them and interact with them than you would otherwise. And so maybe you put your organizational skills to use by being the coordinator, which then leads you to your ultimate goal of becoming an educator by getting to know other educators who might recommend you, etc., etc. Okay, so what are the open opportunities that are in line with your desires and your skills and your time? And do you think really that you would be the right person to fill that opportunity? We've talked a little bit about kind of the leader who becomes a default leader, and that is, they're amazing, and it's our community sadly couldn't survive, or at least currently, without them. But really think about whether or not you would be the best person to fill that role. And if you are, great, take it on. If you are not, that's okay too. You can either help somebody else put it together. My point here is that stepping stones, right? Figure out what your goal is. What's the ultimate goal that you want? And then we're going to talk about taking the smaller steps to get there. And so that's what I want you thinking about this week, is stepping stones, is the island of your goal and the stepping stones that will get you there. Okay, so that's it for today. There will be the question posted, and I look forward to our discussions in the comment section.